Hello, everyone. Hello, one and all. I've been thinking a lot about this situation with Nike, where they have now created this entire campaign and even a product line around Colin Kaepernick, the American football quarterback, who has had a very polarizing, perhaps divisive impact in America. You can read all about him. You probably have. You've probably read about the Nike situation. And I've been thinking about writing about this. And I thought, well, heck, I'll just get on Facebook and make a little video of this and, maybe save and distribute the video. I have some very strong thoughts about why Nike did what they did. In fact, it really is in line with a lot of the research that I've been studying for my new book. I've got a new book coming out in 2019. The name of the book is going to be Marketing Rebellion. And it's going to be all about how do you connect with customers, how do you build a brand in a world without loyalty, in a post-loyalty era. What do we do when really businesses don't have control like they used to? There was some seminal research by McKinsey a few years ago that showed that 2/3 of our marketing is not our marketing. 2/3 of our marketing is taking place someplace else. And everywhere I go, I see that marketers are stuck trying to figure out what's going on. How come things aren't working like they used to? And part of it, they haven't stepped up. They haven't realized whether they're just behind or perhaps it's organizational obstinacy. They haven't caught up with this idea that we're not in control. The consumers are in control. So there's this research that was done, and it was posted in Harvard Business Review a few months ago. And I want to read for you some of the conclusions of this research. So here's some things that we think about as marketers, right? Customers want to have relationships with our brand. They found no, in their research, that is not true. 77% of customers do not want to have a relationship with our brand. In fact, it's close to 83% of customers shop around. There's almost no brand loyalty today, all right? So let's bust that myth. Number 2, customer engagement builds relationships. That's a big factor in social media marketing, right? And content marketing, right? We want to create engagement. The research said no. Customer engagement does not build relationships with brands. And another myth is the more interactions we have with our customers, the better. Also wrong. There is no correlation between customer loyalty and brand interactions. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Of the factors that these researchers looked at in terms of brand loyalty, we're in a world, as I said, where across many different organizations, about 17% of our customers are brand loyal. Everybody else shops around. There was only one factor, just one, that could be associated with brand loyalty. This is what it was: shared meaning. Now, what does that mean? Shared meaning. It means that your values as a brand align with consumers' values, all right? This has also been confirmed by research from Edelman that shows between 60 and 70% of customers seek out brands that align with their values. There was another research report that showed that this was the number one factor that customers consider. In fact, 70% of consumers say that they will not shop with a brand if it doesn't align with their values. So this is a big idea. This is a big message, and it's against almost everything we learned about in business school. When I was in business school, what did they teach you? You would never do something like Nike did, right? What did Milton Friedman, the famous economist, tell us? That businesses are about creating stakeholder value. What the heck is going on? Nike has a revolt going on their hands. They have people burning shoes in the streets. That's not what Milton Friedman would tell us what to do. But that's what the world needs brands to do today. That's what they want brands to do today. They want them to take a stand. They need them to take a stand. It is the only thing that results in brand loyalty. Now, I'm not here to say Nike picked the right cause. You know, Kaepernick, he's a very polarizing and divisive guy. I think it's important that if a brand decides to take a stand like this, it has got to be really, truly, deeply aligned with the values, the mission, the purpose of the company and the consumers. Nike has some of the smartest marketers in the world. I've studied this company for a long time, and I can tell you something. This was not a decision that was made lightly. They ran the numbers. They knew there would be a revolt. They knew there would be a loss in market value. Yesterday, the company lost nearly $4 billion in market value. Now, is that what they thought it was going to be? Did they think it was going to be a little more? Did they think it was going to be a little less? I don't know. I'm not an insider. But this is a long-term play because Nike is smart. They know their customers. They see the research going on, and they're looking at the same research I am. This alignment with values, this shared meaning, this purpose that consumers are looking for today, especially young consumers. This is the only thing that's going to drive loyalty. Now, I'll spend a little time and open it up for a few questions. As I've been talking here, I haven't been looking at the questions coming in. If you do have some questions about this, I'll try to answer them. But I want to leave you with a quote from a young man I talked to in Atlanta about 2 weeks ago. He is a really cool guy. He's a young marketer that I'm working with on a project down in Atlanta. And this was a very, very interesting quote that he had. This is one of the quotes. I'm actually going to have this in my book. So this is a world premiere here. You're getting some content from my book. Here was his quote. "My favorite brands stand for something, and I hold them accountable, just like a friend. If a friend of mine did something that was disrespectful or wronged me in some way, I expect them to make it right. I used to be a big fan of Nike. I bet I had 50 pairs of Nike shoes, but they haven't done anything to be a human to me. People are being shot over sneakers. People aren't being paid for their designs. They have human rights issues. They have supply chain issues. I'm sure they do some good things, but it doesn't mean something to me. They have to stop the wrong and make things right. I'm not really loyal to a brand. I'm loyal to people." Now, this is one data point. It's one voice. But this is probably very representative of the sort of feedback Nike has been getting from their consumers. They have had a ton of controversy going on, and it's not been all good, as this young man has said. By aligning with Kaepernick, this is a way to try to get back with this young crowd who are their customers, right? 80% of their customers lean left. 80% of their customers are liberal. They would probably tend to embrace what Colin Kaepernick stands for. Now, again, my purpose today is to not advocate whether they chose the right cause or not. I have to trust that they really did their research. These are very, very smart marketers. I was a little surprised that they aligned with somebody who is so polarizing and divisive myself, but the purpose today is really to talk about why. Why would Nike do something like this? So I hope this helps a little bit. We're seeing this more and more with companies. Another example that I've been studying is American Eagle and how they've been supporting, again, a lot of the values, a lot of the causes that are important to left-leaning young people today. For example, they started a foundation to support young people that are coming out around their sexuality. This has really detached themselves from some of their customers, but I think today you need to make a choice. You need to pick the right group of customers. You need to surround yourself with the right group of customers, and you have to align with your values. So this is part of a much larger trend. I hope this helps sort of understand this shocking development, that there actually is some research behind it. There actually is some logic behind it. And if you've got a few questions, I'll hang on here and answer a few questions if you have some about it. So thanks for listening to me today. And as I said, I just wanted to shoot out some thoughts about why Nike would do what they did. There's actually some very good research about it. So Doug Carr has an interesting view. Doug says it's unfortunate businesses are jumping on board the divisiveness wagon. I don't think that's what they're really doing. I think they're aligning values. They're aligning with their customers, and the views that Nike is taking on here, Doug, might be different from yours, but you're probably not their core customer. So it's Nike's probably thinking, yeah, middle-aged white guy sitting in Indianapolis, he's probably not going to buy our $200 sneaker. So it may seem divisive to you, but for the people who are aligning with that brand, and again, I'm not making a judgment here. I'm not making any, this is not about being a moral compass. This is about business strategy. I'm just talking about business strategy today. I don't think this was a decision to be polarizing. I think this is a decision based on research and sound business logic. Let's see. All right, nice comment, Justin Jones. Justin is a bright guy who I was supposed to be meeting with in July, but haven't heard from him. Justin is saying, our goal is not to do business with everyone who needs our service, but to do with business with people who believe what we believe. And I mean, that is, again, that's really, really different. You know, look at even Coca-Cola in their Super Bowl ads has been much, much more political. When we were growing up in marketing, we learned about the 4 Ps, right? There's a 5th P, politics. Politics and purpose. That's not another, I'm combining those. It's the 5th P, politics and purpose. Okay, I'm just trying to see if you know, John Eberhardt, I think this is an interesting point. He said, I don't think their position is anywhere close to the majority of Americans who agree. He doesn't think the majority of Americans agree with the NFL kneelers. And I mean, that's the core issue here. I apologize for some of the international people who might not understand this divisive issue in America. But John, I mean, this is one of the things that is kind of surprising, but I'm sure they ran the numbers. I think it's going to be extraordinarily interesting to see how this plays out with the NFL, how this plays out with sponsorships. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Grant Crowell says, if you never stand for something, then others will step all over you. Amanda Webb says, LOL, it puts a new slant on voting with your feet. Elma, hey, Elma Angotti, she says, because it's the right thing to do. Now, see, Elma has the other position of Doug Carr, right? I mean, Elma, works and lives in Washington, D.C. I haven't talked to Elma for a while, but we need to change that, Elma. But Alma, maybe is suggesting here that she's a little more left-leaning, that this is the right thing to do. So, again, sort of, polarizing. Janet Kennedy says 48 million in free press yesterday. No publicity is bad publicity. I think I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there's a bigger issue here than that. I think the bigger issue is that no business would ever mindfully create bad publicity about themselves. I think that is sort of a myth. I mean, a lot of people are skeptical maybe these days when there's bad publicity, and people think, oh, they must have planned this. They got great publicity out of this. I've been working for too many companies, especially big companies in my life. And believe me, if someone walked into a boardroom and said, our strategy is to make people burn our shoes in the streets, that would be soundly voted down. This is a higher level issue. This is a long-term issue. It's not about creating controversy. It's about aligning with values. And that's a big, there's a big difference there. So I'm just trying to see if there are more questions here. What do I think of United Colors of Benetton? They've taken a similar route. Hey, look, I talked a little bit earlier about American Eagle. Unilever has done something, not of this magnitude. Coca-Cola. I mean, this is a trend. This is just the beginning. It's certainly the most polarizing sort of strategy that we've seen. Maybe the one that's had the biggest impact, immediate impact on the bottom line. Look, Delta Airlines, right? Delta Airlines, based in Atlanta, the heart of the southern United States, took a stand against the NRA. Where are most of the gun owners? In their core markets. So is that going to backfire on them? Again, Delta is planning on the long term, all right? You've got to align the values with the brand. Amina Gordon. Amina, if you don't know Amina, you should really recommend following her. Amina Gorton, Gorton. She is a very talented and creative marketer in Provence. And she says, is this to divide and conquer, or rather weed out the people who don't want to be your customers? Amina, I think that's exactly what's going on here. Carl Gray, my friend in Scotland, is saying, I said today, Nike, they're aligning with their values with their customers. And the values in terms of business. It isn't political. I mean, I think by definition it is political because they are taking a side. They're not trying to be everything to everyone. I think those days are over. I think that is the lesson here. We are entering the post-loyalty era. The post-loyalty era. And businesses have to do things that are quite radically different. One of the main themes that will be in my upcoming book, I hope to get it out around February 2019, is this idea of appealing to constant human needs. What do humans want? They want meaning, right? I mean, that's what Nike is delivering here. They want to belong, all right? Nike is saying, look, maybe people are criticizing your beliefs. You're okay. You're standing up for what you believe in. You belong to us. Nike's putting a flag down here saying you belong to us. People want to belong. It's one of the few things, again, that connects people to a brand identity. My good friend John Ferrara in California says, do I think this is similar to Subaru and its association with LGBTA community? Yes, absolutely, John. I mean, again, it's aligning with core values. Thanks for your nice comments. I'm not ignoring all the nice things people are saying. It's just, I don't want to dwell on that. Would rather answer questions here. But thank you for all of you and what's going on here. Amy Heiss down in Austin, super smart person. Man, follow Amy if you're not following Amy. I plan to buy more Nike now. Before I was indifferent to shoe brands. Stick is up today. Look at this. Isn't that a powerful statement? Isn't that a powerful statement? That this is the only thing that brought Amy into Nike's camp. That is, Amy, thank you. That is exactly what I've been trying to say here. Caddy Jordan. Love Caddy. She's been a great follower of mine for a long time. She's saying, I'm outside the U.S. I'm feeling indifferent, really. If people want to burn their shoes, maybe they can give them to someone in need instead. Yeah, but that's not a temper tantrum. People like to throw temper tantrums today, right, Caddy? Eric Roy. Eric met, maybe 2 years ago, Eric? Do you think more brands would take stronger stands in the future? I mean, I think that's the theme here today. I think this is just the beginning. It's been something that's been brewing for about 2 years. I will probably post this as a blog post. I'll put some links in to some of the research that helps support what is going on. Sharon DeCaro says, who is Amy? I want to follow her. We all want to follow Amy Heiss. Look for her comment up there and follow her. Amy, I got to know Amy when she was with Dell, and now she's a marketing leader at Schwab in Austin. Love you, Amy. And I love all of you. Thank you so much. I think we've kind of exhausted some of the questions here. I just wanted to give a little background on the why behind what Nike did. It still remains to be seen how it's going to play out, but there's solid business research to indicate they did the right thing. Did they pick the right cause? That remains to be seen. Did they align with the right people and the right values? That remains to be seen. But they did something bold. They certainly took a stand. They aligned with a certain set of values, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of that in the future. So thanks, everyone, for listening, for sending me your wonderful comments, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye.